This is Going Ultra Season 2, Episode 4. I'm talking about Ultraman 2019, Episode 4. 4 and 4, you get it? Anyway, so this episode saw Shinjiro unleash his limiter. So the suit has a limiter on it. It allows him for 3 minutes to use maximum power. This was discovered by him reporting to Mr. Ide and Edo that the suit was feeling a bit sluggish. He thought it was underperforming, but they told him, no, the truth is, Shinjiro, that the suit has been limiting your power, and we will unlock it, and you'll be able to be better, faster, stronger. Or is it stronger, better, faster? Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, he did it. What I liked most about this episode was that it dealt with a couple things. One was, stop. I really liked the episode. I thought it was pretty great. Very exciting, very dynamic. You had, like I talked about in the previous review of the last episode, Mora Oshi's this, hard case. And he's very harsh and a very severe person. He's rooted in severity in that, he sees the alien scum as something that needs to be destroyed. And interesting, something we learn, so he gets more texture in this episode, and he doesn't just look like he's this xenophobic, heartless monster. And I was a bit naive because I didn't know how serious the alien threats were. I mean, obviously, Bemular is a big bad guy who has dastardly plans. But, like the Men in Black concept goes, that guy's just working out, this guy's blowing his nose. I don't want someone coming up in the gym and busting me when I'm on the, on the treadmill. These aliens have been living peacefully on Earth for some time. So, to me, or the impression I got was that they were there, and I had said infiltrated last episode, or in the last review, but I don't think it's so much that they've infiltrated. I think that there's this peace treaty, and they are allowed to live peacefully among humans as long as they live peacefully among humans. So again, I mentioned how heavily anti-war I am. I've gotten myself involved in... I listen to some anti-war podcasts, and I've gotten involved in some anti-war action, like calling Congress members and stuff like this. I swear this corresponds to the review and what I'm going to say. I also am very interested in the principles of liberty, and have read stuff or listened to audiobooks by like John Locke, and the idea of... not non-intervention, but the ideas, the concepts around non-violence. And it's interesting because as in certain philosophies, as long as an individual is not harming others, they should be free to do whatever they want. That means, whatever they want, as long as they're not causing harm to another person, and as long as there's consent involved with their interactions with other people. So, I wonder if the idea behind the show is kind of like in Men in Black, or the idea in the manga, or this story, I'll say, is that like in Men in Black, or like in John Locke's 2 treatises on civil government, is that what it's called? The rights of the individual are like the philosophy behind it. Of course, this isn't going to be said outright, but the philosophy is that as long as somebody, a human, an alien, is not causing harm to others and violating their rights of life, liberty, and whatever else, they should be left alone, basically. And I'll back this up by saying Shinjiro was kind of testing out his Ultraman-ness, or being Ultraman, in the last episode by going around doing heroic deeds. There was a guy who had taken a woman hostage. That's not Ultraman's problem, but it is Ultraman's problem because Ultraman is, in this iteration of the story, is operating on a much smaller scale. He's not giant, he's not always fighting kaiju. I'd be interested I hope it happens towards the end of the series, but we'll see. Anyway, so he's dealing with all sorts of problems. He's using this power that he has to ensconce, defend, whatever, the rights of others not to be harmed. And that's an idea that Shinjiro kind of grapples with, or has to come to grips with, when he and the alien and Rena are all together out in, I don't know, Shinjuku Crossing, or whatever that is, Tokyo Crossing? I don't know, wherever they are. And the alien's saying oh, you're trying to be Ultraman, and you're doing this publicity thing from the Science Patrol, which I'll come back to that. He's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And Rena's like, hey, Ultraman, just say you're Ultraman. We know you're Ultraman. We saw you. So be Ultraman, like live up to the ideal that is Ultraman. And he says this thing, kind of like the Dark Knight, like, I may not be Ultraman right now, I don't know who I want to be, but I'll be the Ultraman that everyone needs me to be. And then he, continues to fight and stuff. But circling back to the aliens' rights, so the alien guy mentions the Science Patrol, and he says, like, hey, we've been sanctioned by the Science Patrol and allowed to live in secret. That's why I've been able to kill so many people, which is interesting, because they want to cover up the existence of all these aliens from the rest of humanity. Moroshi also has that concern that they want to cover up the existence of aliens from humanity, and he's a little perturbed or irritated when Shinjiro is allowed to pursue the alien into, throughout the city, and people obviously are going to find out, and he's concerned about that. But Edo doesn't have any concern about that, and Mr. Ide doesn't seem to be too concerned about the populace finding out about the aliens either. I'm going to mention something so I don't forget to talk about it. I want to talk about the dark underbelly of the Science Patrol and the aliens, and the consequence of letting them, and consequences, I guess, let's say that. But what I want to talk about right now is how I was kind of naive, like Shinjiro, thinking, oh, this, alien guy, he's just living his alien life, why you got to bother him? But it turns out maybe he is, a filthy monster, because he's killing people, just like I would regard another human, serial killer or whatever, like a serial killer, because this alien is like a serial killer, except he's not doing it for, well, it doesn't matter. The result is that, like, something people get hung up on all the time is, what were the motivations of this person? It doesn't matter what their motivations were if the outcome of their action taken in malice was to, murder a bunch of people. Motivations don't matter. The murderer murdered. Stop them. And I don't necessarily mean kill them, but, if you have to, you have to. Unfortunately, it's a sad reality. Which I thought they were going to struggle a little bit more with the ethics of that in this episode, but I think seeing how horrible the killings or the murders of these people were that this alien was eating, I guess it looked like he was eating them. I hope he was eating them. I'm not sure. I would rather he be eating, well, no, because he's got to have other food sources. Otherwise, the SP or the Science Patrol wouldn't have let him stay on Earth. Anyway, it's a little bit of a complicated thing, but basically, this guy was comfortable murdering people, seemingly for his enjoyment, and therefore, according to certain philosophical understandings, he's kind of signed his own death card or his own death warrant, and Shinjiro, as Ultraman, acts to carry that out. And obviously the Science Patrol has these armored units who have guns. I'm sure they're, like space laser weapons or whatever, to deal with these threats. Like, it makes sense. Just like with humans, these aliens can step out of line and they need to be dealt with in a manner fitting. And because of the genre. So anyway, I guess I always have this issue because I want to think about things in a way more complicated manner. But I think the show lends to that, and I think it's a good vehicle. I think the science fiction genre is a great place to discuss all these different things on a deeper level. But, in the immediate, it's just an enjoyable thing to see. There's drama, there's tension, there's all these things because that guy's so bad, and he's, gloating about all the people he's been able to kill. So let me wrap up my thoughts. I was a little bit scared in episode 1 about how Shinjiro, or I guess it was episode 2, wanted to destroy Bemular so badly. Was it? No, it was episode 1. But then he kind of wavered, and he was helping people, saving people, doing good, righteous, just things with his power. And then he encounters this guy who's like a serial killer, and he doesn't want to kill him. It's like tempered. He doesn't want to kill him. He wants to stop him from doing what he's doing. And while Shinjiro's intentions are good and pure and noble and right, and I think killing the guy at the end when he did was the right thing to do in the situation, unfortunately, because unless there was a way to apprehend him that, we're not aware of yet, it's what had to be done. Otherwise, he was going to go on killing all these other people. The motives of the Science Patrol and Edo are still a little bit suspicious to me. And I will say this. The alien kind of chides Shinjiro for bringing him out into public, and he says, why isn't the Science Patrol stopping you from doing this? Because we're getting out here in the public, all this damage is happening, all this damage is happening, and all these civilians are potentially being harmed by you fighting me here and now. And It doesn't make sense to me that this is happening when all along the Science Patrol has been about concealing our presence here. Any real Ultra fans listening to this, by the way, tell me, is this guy supposed to be like a Baltan? Is that like, does he have retractable claw things as his blasters? Is that what's going on? Because the eye shape and the mouth shape and the head shape look familiar to me, and I only really know Baltan from Ultraman. Anyway, Baltan or not, this guy kind of ascribes a sinister reasoning to what the Science Patrol is doing in letting Shinjiro go out into the public and letting it be seen that there are aliens in Japan, at least, if not throughout the earth. And I kind of believe it because I'm still suspect of Edo and the Science Patrol because there just seems to be so much going on. And then Bemular talks about at the end of the episode something about like, oh, they're beginning like the next phase of their preparations, or their preparations are complete. I will move on to my next phase. And by the way, his left arm is back. By the way, when I saw something on Twitter yesterday, someone was like, man, what does this show have against people's left arms? So this is 2 left arms that have been severed. I'm going to have to see if there are more. I'm waiting. We're on Arm Watch 2020. Or no, 2019. Sorry. Anyway, I want to know, are there sinister reasons behind why they are now letting Ultraman go out into the public? I don't know. It's very interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm engaged. I'm really enjoying the show. But I'm going to wrap it up because I don't think I have anything else to say other than I wonder if Ren is going to be... Oh, actually, I do have one more thing to say. Or besides the Ren thing. I wonder if Ren is going to become a regular part of the cast. Shinjiro... Like, she might be an ordinary high school girl who Shinjiro has seen before, who he was perhaps, like stepping in to protect her from that creeper in the episode where he... I guess episode... I don't know. It doesn't matter. The guy who he hurt. So, anyway, that'll be interesting to see how she gets involved with the plot. But I like the fact that her dad was way into Ultraman, and she's kind of picked it up from him, and she's like, come on, Ultraman, be Ultraman. It reminds me of a great moment in Kamen Rider Forze where, oh gosh, I cannot remember her name. Shiho is the actress who plays her. I don't know why I know that. But the goth girl in the Kamen Rider Club, she's like, she yells at somebody about what a Kamen Rider is, to Meteor. Oh, I don't give too much away, but it's really great. She's like, look, you have this power, you have this name, you are supposed to be this type of hero. Be that type of hero for us now, which is really cool. So there's this alien who's obsessed with Rena, the idol. I read a manga called Junk about somebody who got a transformation device. I can't remember, was it a belt? Was it a belt? I don't remember now. Might have been it was a wristband. Anyway, got a transformation device, and there ended up being an idol deeply involved, and a guy stalking... Oh, he wasn't stalking an idol. He was stalking somebody else. Anyway, there was a creepy guy stalking a lady, and there also happened to be an idol being stalked by a crazed fan. Yeah, there was a crazed fan in that. Anyway, interesting that this show also has referenced 2 times this alien guy who's obsessed with Rena, and I'm a little scared for her and to see what's going to happen. So I just think that's kind of an interesting, I don't know, random thing. And the guy who did the manga Junk is the same guy who did the Zodiarts and Horoscopes designs for Kamen Rider Forze, which I just mentioned a minute ago. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I don't have anything else to say regarding the review, other than this is a really enjoyable show. I'm really glad this happened. Thanks, Netflix, for being so voracious to absorb titles and expand your empire and whatever. And I'm really happy that Subaraya Productions has turned outward again. It's not like this is the first time they've done co-productions or released stuff, internationally with like great intention. I don't know how to say that, but Subaraya is like a more guarded company, it seems, than like Toei. I don't know. I kind of like their operation. They seem to like focus on doing really high quality stuff and protecting their brand. I don't know, but I'm very pleased with the stories that are coming out from all of that. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. If you know about that guy being a Baltan or not, please leave me a comment either on my website or on YouTube, where you could be watching the video version of this. I wasn't able to grab any screen grabs this time just because it wasn't going to work out for me. So anyway, that's all I have to say. You can check out my playlist with all my other stuff. If you're new here, you can subscribe, and I'll be releasing these regularly within the space of 3 weeks. I will have all 12 or 13 episodes reviewed and posted here and on my blog for the audio-only version. Audio, description in the link. You can support me on Ko-fi if you like the work that I'm doing. And, give me a shout out if you enjoyed this, or give me critiques. I would like to do better. Tell me how to do better, please. Thanks.